The lights dim. The final roar of the crowd at Villa Park just fades away, and 17 days later, a simple, tender request shattered the silence. Kiss me, hug me tight.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes of routine that would define the end of a legend. Welcome to StarScope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. Our mission today is to unpack the story behind the headline, the 20 minutes that killed Ozzy.
This isn't just about his passing. I mean, it's really about the defiance, the love, and the conscious choice that framed his entire final chapter.
The timeline here is just so tight.
It's key. We're looking at his final high-stakes public act, that Back to the Beginning concert, on July 5, 2025, and we're connecting it right to his death on July 22nd, so just 17 days later. The sources, they lay out a really clear narrative here.
And you might think you know about the illness, but wait till you hear the doctor's explicit warning he ignored to make that final bow. Stick around, because that single act of defiance set the stage for the heartbreak just 20 minutes later. Okay, let's unpack this. The farewell on the throne. Why would the Prince of Darkness choose this huge risk over just, recovery?
Well, we have to start with the medical background because this wasn't sudden at all.
Not at all.
Ozzy was 76, and he was battling a progressive, rare genetic form of Parkinson's disease, the PARK2 mutation.
And he'd been diagnosed way back in 2003, right?
Right.
But only revealed it publicly in 2020.
Exactly. And this condition left him, and this is in his family's words, virtually crippled. He was pretty much unable to walk because of the illness, and on top of that, all this cumulative spinal damage.
From that fall in 2019, which, that just made the old quad bike accident from 2003 even worse.
Right. It led to him needing 4 major spinal surgeries. The last one was in September 2023, so just 10 months before he died.
It's just an unbelievable amount of physical trauma.
So here's where it gets really interesting. Despite this horrendous condition, he was absolutely adamant about doing this show.
Oh, completely. The final farewell concert, Back to the Beginning, in his hometown, Birmingham.
So what did the doctors say? They couldn't have been on board with this.
Not even a little bit. Sharon confirmed his main doctor gave him this stark, unequivocal warning. Basically said, if you do this show, that's it. You're not going to get through it.
Wow.
And Ozzy's response was just that he didn't care. He was determined to avoid dying, as he put it, in a hotel room somewhere. He wanted that final full stop on his own terms.
So he takes the stage on July 5th, performing on a throne. It's practical, obviously, because he can't stand, but it's also just this incredible final image for the Prince of Darkness.
It really is. And the event itself, how big was it exactly?
It was absolutely massive, a huge physical expenditure for him. The charity event sold out all 40,000 seats at Villa Park instantly. And the lineup was a who's who of metal. But get this, the stream. Globally, it peaked at 5.8 million concurrent viewers.
5.8 million.
Yep.
It's a global event. It wasn't just a farewell. It was like a coronation.
And it had this huge philanthropic impact, too. It raised $140 million for 3 charities, one of which was Cure Parkinson's.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And his reaction to it all was, I think, really telling. He told Sharon afterwards, he said, I had no idea that so many people liked me.
After all that time, he was still shocked by the love. But that defiance, it proved the doctor right, and way sooner than anyone expected. Which brings us to those final hours, and the morning that gives this deep dive its tragic meaning. So we shift to the morning of July 22nd, 2025. It's around 4:30 a.m. at their estate in Buckinghamshire. And you have to imagine the state of things in the house.
Yeah.
The energy from that concert is gone, and he's not doing well.
No, the deterioration in those 2 weeks was really acute. He'd been restless, up and down to the bathroom all night. He had also had pneumonia 3 times that year. And sepsis, which Sharon said it really, really destroyed him.
So the official cause of death was a heart attack, an acute myocardial infarction. But the underlying causes, this is the critical part, they were listed as coronary artery disease and Parkinson's with autonomic dysfunction. So what does that all mean?
Well, the key thing to understand is the autonomic dysfunction. It basically means the disease broke his body's autopilot system.
The system that controls everything you don't think about.
Exactly. Breathing, digestion, and crucially, heart rate and blood pressure. So when that system starts to fail, the heart can't regulate itself properly, especially under any kind of stress or physical demand.
So the Parkinson's was kind of slowly cutting the wires to his heart's control panel. Any little exertion could be fatal.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which leads us to those final, very tender moments before he collapsed.
Around 4:30 in the morning, the sources reveal this just incredibly poignant, gentle exchange.
It's so simple and profound. Ozzy woke Sharon up and just asked her, "Kiss me, hug me tight." And this request, for this deep connection, it came after weeks of him having these strange dreams, seeing silent, unknown people. And Sharon's interpretation was that, well, he knew. He was ready. It was his way of saying goodbye.
And after that hug, he did one final routine act that his body just couldn't handle. And this is the core of it all, the 20 minutes.
Right. Despite being virtually crippled, he went downstairs to his home gym. Used to be on the cross trainer for like 90 minutes a day.
A man defined by that manic physical energy.
Exactly. And that morning, he worked out for approximately 20 minutes before the heart attack hit, and he collapsed right there in the gym.
20 minutes. That final act of defiance, sticking to a routine he'd probably done thousands of times, was the trigger.
The scene was just traumatic. Sharon heard screaming, ran downstairs, found the medics trying to resuscitate him, and she made this instant controversial call.
What did she do?
She demanded they stop. Her exact words were, "Don't just leave him. Leave him. You can't. He's gone." She knew.
That's an impossible decision. But her reaction, telling them to stop, it wasn't just grief, was it? It actually connects to a philosophy they'd shared for decades.
It's essential context. The Osbournes had an active assisted suicide pact.
Right. I remember hearing about this. It goes way back.
It goes back to 2007, right after Sharon's father died from Alzheimer's. They saw that suffering, and they decided they believed, quote, 100% in euthanasia.
And they had a plan.
A very specific one. To go to Switzerland if either of them developed an illness that affected their brain. It was all about avoiding that kind of mental and physical suffering, maintaining dignity.
So this history, it completely changes how you see Sharon's decision in that moment.
It really does. She wasn't just grieving. She was, in a way, enforcing a shared end-of-life protocol they had agreed on for almost 2 decades. She was prioritizing his dignity over a desperate medical measure.
She was honoring his wish to go out on his own terms.
And if you're finding this story as compelling as we are, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope Report, because we've got stories like this every week. And in the wake of his death, the family has been, well, fiercely protective of his legacy.
Oh, so.
On the Osbournes podcast, they've been calling out people they call nutters who are pretending to speak to him from the grave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and musicians, they say, are lying about final interactions with him at the Birmingham show. Sharon was very clear. She said, "I know the people he spoke to because they had to come into the dressing room. It's all about controlling that final narrative."
Securing the official version of events.
Exactly. But even in all this heaviness, there's this one last beautifully humanizing anecdote.
What's that?
In his final days, Ozzy was apparently focused on Sharon's future. He asked her if she would ever remarry after he was gone.
And what did she say?
Her response was just perfectly them. She said she told him to F off, piss off.
That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard.
Right. It just confirms that their chaotic, profound love story was running in full color right to the very end.
So when we put it all together, what we learned is that the 20 minutes in the gym was the final physical act of a man who had already rejected a passive ending just 2 weeks before. He didn't surrender. He pushed his body until it couldn't go anymore.
It creates this incredible narrative contrast. The Prince of Darkness, the guy known for all the chaos and spectacle, he defined his end not with a stage collapse, but with this quiet, gentle request. Kiss me, hug me tight.
So what does this all mean for you? If a legend like Ozzy chose defiance and closure over safety, does the dignity of a spectacular final act outweigh the medical demand for a longer life? It definitely raises a huge question about control in the face of fate. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.